The Douglas Community Center, the best place to go together. Located on 9th and Yuma Street, this neighborhood has an important story that David Baker tells us about in the light of February being Black History Month.
When I grew up, Yuma Street was the hub of the African American community. It was our main street, and most African American, we did not live past Yuma Street going north, which is the next block over, which is Colorado. And there were very, very few people that lived on Colorado. So the south side of Manhattan was primarily, African American, as I grew up. And that stayed pretty much that way until 1987. I left town in '84 and moved to Oklahoma. But I believe in 1987 is when they put in Fort Riley Boulevard. And once the Fort Riley Boulevard went in, urban renewal came in, bought up many of the homes. People passed away or left town, and that was the beginning of the beginning of the change of the south side of Manhattan. And I came back in 2011 as a director here at Douglas Center. I grew up here in this facility. Like I said, it was the hub of the Black community in those days. And so today it's become truly a recreation center for the whole community. And so we've been able to create that environment here, and so that was pretty much my goal when I came back here, because I saw that there was a need for that. And the same thing goes with seniors. If you think about what seniors are doing actively in this community, it's not a lot. And when we started pickleball here about 6 years ago, I mean, there was just a handful of people playing, and now pickleball is the fastest growing senior sport in Manhattan.
We did go to a number of commission meetings in which the pickleball group presented their ideas and our wishes, of course. We had hoped for maybe more than 2 pickleball courts over there, but we'll do with 2.
And so we've been able to create some things, and my goal has always been do something to make somebody else's life better if you can. And that's kind of what we've been able to do here at the Douglas Center.
What an opportunity to sit down with David Baker and dive in to figure out exactly what the history behind Yuma Street is and what all the changes will be like for the new renovations of the Douglas Center for 2020. They'll be having a groundbreaking ceremony next week on Wednesday, March 4th. From Manhattan, I'm Dawson Wagner for MHK All Day.
January 19th, 1968, he spoke to 7,000 people at Ahern Fieldhouse. And upon his arrival in Manhattan, he wanted to know where his people were. So they brought him to Yuma Street, where he got out of his car and he began to walk down the street and waving and greeting people on Yuma Street, the residents, out on their porches. That was in April 4th, and then April 4th, 1968, that was 3 months later, was when he was assassinated. So you didn't know that?
One of the last
This was the last one before yeah. And so Yuma Street has some tremendous history. And the thing of it is, I think they tell me he started on the 17th Street and walked this way. Typically we walk west, but he was on campus, so he came coming that way. So yeah. There's what I said, there's a lot of history in this part of town that people don't know. And like I said, once it's gone, it's gone.